All right. What should you consider when your company is starting a new benefits program?
When your company is starting a new benefits program, you really, one of the main things you got to think about as the employer at the start is, what are you really looking to accomplish? Are you looking to just set up a plan so people have benefits? Or are you looking to set up a plan that you can attract and retain good employees? What can you afford to contribute for your employees' benefits that first year? Because your income may be a little more level, but what can you afford? What can your employees contribute? Don't assume that all of your employees, if say they're contributing 50% of the benefits, don't assume your employees can afford that. Don't assume that families can afford certain things. So the reason I mention that is you may want to have some high-end plans. As I've mentioned in the past, you have the creme de la creme, you have the creme and the crumb. So there's different levels of benefits. It works differently for everyone. I also recommend in the same area is that you also have people contribute through payroll deduction, so that if people can't afford as much for the plans, if they want to buy up with pre-tax dollars, they can do that. Otherwise, save some bucks.
Nice, thank you. It's always good to save some money. What happens when your employees get to the age or exceed the age that Medicare kicks in?
Well, I exceeded that age last December. As I say to people, sometimes people have to speak in a larger font for me to understand what they're saying. No one can force anyone to go on Medicare in your companies. But the things you need to be aware of is this. If a company has under 20 employees in New York State, Medicare is primary. So if you're enrolled in a regular health insurance plan and you say, I'm good, that's great until the bills start coming in, because they're going to bill Medicare first. And if it isn't set up, there's all that exposure. So you need to do that. In the area of Medicare, we sit down with people, we look at what they can afford, look at if they want to be able to see every doctor who's available in the country with Medicare, which happens to be the largest network in the country, or there may be United Healthcare or Aetna's all in network plans. We also analyze everyone's prescriptions, because everyone has different needs and every carrier has a different, and we go with two different carriers. We might go with AARP with one and Aetna with another.
Great. I always think it's kind of engaging to tell a little story at this point. Okay. So give us a little sense of a way in which you've helped a client, share a story, a success story, whatever you'd like.
Okay. So a few stories. One is, and this sounds real simple, but I bring this up a lot. When you go to see a doctor, you don't say, do you take Oxford? Do you accept Oxford? You say, do you participate in a specific network? Like Oxford has Freedom, Liberty, and Metro networks. You have to say, do you participate in that network? So a story a number of years ago, a woman went for a fertility clinic, got checked out, said, do you take the coverage? She said, sure. Came back later, they said, you were out of network. And you owe us $1,500. Now, we did find out that they got paid $800 from Oxford, the clinic, so we were able to cut the expenses in half. Another time, a woman did not get pre-authorized to get treatment for Crohn's, which unfortunately is very, very, very common. And we were able to get a slap on the wrist, and there were no other claims. Lastly, which I always mention to people also, is, so we had a client a number of years ago, and he was going to the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. And we asked all the questions, made sure everything was covered. All of a sudden the bills came in and they said everything's declined. But because we had spoken to the carrier, because when we spoke, we got what they call a reference number, a confirmation number for the call. I had all that backup information. Everything got overturned and they were covered.
Wow. Yeah. Great story. All right, well, we're all hearing a lot about Ozempic and Zepbound.
Right.
Can you tell us the best ways to cover this?
Sure. So besides, I mean, the commercials are flooding all of us, and if you don't know the jingles, you probably should. Ozempic is more for like A1, I guess it's A1? I think it's diabetes. And Zepbound, if you have sleep apnea, you can pay significantly less than if you don't have that diagnosis. There's other things with that prescription and other prescriptions you need to know. If something's not covered, first of all, your doctor can appeal it and see if you can get it covered. Secondly, is that you can even get coupons from the carrier, from the like Pfizer, Merck Medco, places like that, to offset the costs. A good RX card, those type of cards can help also. Other little tidbits I just want people to be aware of just with pharmacies. If your carrier may give you a discounted rate if you're on maintenance, so that for mail order you might get 3 months for 2.5 months of copay, so you can save some money on that. One of the other things that is pretty odd at times, that if you go to one pharmacy and you know your copay is $20, some pharmacies know the actual cost is $17.20, and they'll charge you less. So you actually can look at that and save some money on those costs.
That's great to know. You talk a bit in your weekly business introductions about onboarding employees. Yeah. Give us a little greater sense of your involvement in that onboarding process and how you might help employers and so on and so forth.
Well, I'll go off with this morning's theme is just, for me, it's fun. I mean, I really enjoy going over the plans with people so they understand it. And especially if it's on a Zoom meeting and you see all these people just like light up saying like, I finally got it. I finally understand it. I feel more comfortable.
Look, they're lighting up like a Zoom meeting.
It's just and so people understand, and then we'll go over things over and over again. I mean, it may sound basic. There's deductibles, and there's co-pays, and there's out-of-pocket limits, but really understanding how all those work. Knowing every little thing so you won't make mistakes. Like you're having a procedure, get it pre-authorized. Tell people the story of a friend's wife who said, oh, the doctor's office will call it in. And that was 3 days, 4 days, 5 days later. It was the day before the procedure. They never called it in. She would have been responsible for half the cost. She called it in and got taken care of. My joke, but it's kind of is true, is like we try to run our business like a casino. Not that it's a gamble, but that we run it like that there's no clocks on the wall. So if you want to contact us at weekends, nights, holidays, I ask people to do that because the angst and everything builds up over time. You don't need that. We're compensated by the carrier, not by you. So you absolutely should reach out to us in that area. I'm sorry, the question was...
about onboarding.
Yeah, the onboarding. So as much as going over a little aspect, to say to everyone, I'd like to give you the opportunity, besides if you need certain forms and things, I'll send it to you after the meeting, to have like we do here in the group and have a one-on-one. So I highly recommend that I speak to everyone, because there's a lot of personal things that they don't want to talk about, the principals don't want to talk about either.
As I look around the room, and this will be your last question before we release you from the hot seat, I see a lot of different people who are in different employment capacities. Some of them are employers. Some of them are independent contractors. Some of them own their own businesses as solopreneurs. You all know what your personal situation is. Obviously, I'd love to hear more about it and as it relates to health insurance, but it's not my business. It's your business. I'm sure you know at this point, except for maybe some of our newer members, what their situation is, or maybe you don't. But is there anything that you can share with us as I hear you every week, and I've known you for many, many years. We talk about group health, small business, big business. What about the solopreneur, the individual, the Blue Cup Designs, the Deutsch Photographies, some of the people that are independent contractors? Are you able to help them make health insurance decisions? Are you available to them? What can you do?
Okay, a couple of things. One is we do offer what's called association or union plans. Those plans, there's a few people in the group. who are on those programs, and they are allowed to ask health questions. So you can be declined to go into those plans. But the networks are terrific. The benefits are very, very strong, but you have to be working, which is people here, and also your health has to be very good. One of the other things that I always offer is, besides feedback with other companies, and you just would like to, from other people you know, and like to say, are we doing things correctly? I'm moving to another company, I'd like you to review that. We always do that, but what we also do is this, and we're not, honestly, we're not compensated on this, is in the marketplace, on the exchange. So that if you want us to help you walk you through it, so you understand it and get the plan that fits your needs, I'm more than happy to do that, because for a lot of people, you know, literally you're a deer caught in the headlights.
Great job, Ross.
Okay.
Thank you for all that you've done for all of us.